when Bob met Woody. May 1941, Bob floated into this world on webs of sound. This of Lake Superior, in the North Country of Minnesota, to the music of shops, bells, seagulls, cries, and the rhythm of great freight cars. Young Bob Zimmerman began his life story. His ears were open to everything around him. He'd listened for the booming wagons in the harbor, calling out from the great grey ships hidden in the mist. He loved the songs that came from the radio. At 4, he performed on one at a family party. If everyone in this room would keep quiet, he said. I was singing for my grandmother. And the court yelled for an encore. Mom couldn't stop smiling at the brilliant, blue-eyed boy. Not long after that, the Zimmermans moved to Hibbing, a mining town in Canada.
Good.
They were one of the few Jewish families in town. There, during the long winters, Bob watched the northern lights dance in the night sky. In summer, he and his friends rode the bugs into the mine, spying on the tiny tracks of the man. Hundreds of feet below, Bob was 10. A cousin tried to teach him piano, but he hated taking lessons. I'm going to play the piano the way I want to, he said, and taught himself piano and guitar. In time, the whistle of each passing damn train called to Bob. He'd sit down by the tracks, count the steaming locomotives, and dream of hitching a ride to some far place, to the clank of railroad cars carrying iron ore. He'd make up poems and songs at home. He'd write the stories with himself as the hero. When Hibbing's miners went on strike, Bob's real-life heroes. Everyday people standing up and speaking out to win their cause. At 12 years old, Bob listened to far-off radio stations late into the night. From Chicago, he heard songs by black musicians, whose records you couldn't even buy in Hibbing. Guitarists like Muddy Waters and B.B. King lit up the airwaves with fiery violins and sizzling notes. Bob's fingers itched to play the blues. From stations farther south, he soaked up the bittersweet ballads of Hank Williams. The lovesick cowboy with just a few simple words. Hank's songs made him feel so lonesome he could cry. Bob's parents were hard-working business people, having that in the store. Bob earned spending money for records and an electric guitar, but Dad didn't care for Bob's music and thought playing the guitar was a waste of time. Bob felt like they lived in two different worlds. By the time he was 14, when he was 14, Bob was playing guitar and playing with a few close friends almost every day. He even talked about being a musician when he grew up, but no one took him seriously. But in Hibbing, either worked in the mine or ran their own businesses. They expected the kids to do the same, more and more. Bob felt like an outsider in his own hometown. One night, he just stood under a street light with his guitar, singing to the falling snow. Tit for being Jewish for being different. Bob kept his angry feelings locked inside, but when he first heard Elvis Presley the king of rock and roll, it was like busting out of jail. With his band, the Shadow Blasters, Bob let loose on stage, banging the piano and screaming out words to Dizzy, Miss Lizzie, or their housework. Some kids called him crazy. During a school talent show, Bob and his band got kicked off stage for being too loud. Afterward, Bob swore he'd be a music star one day, even bigger than Elvis, and show them all. Bob kept listening to all kinds of music, from hillbilly to jazz. He read poems by Dylan Thomas and books like John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. Yes, about Paul. Okay, Oklahoma, farmers during the Great Depression, like ships horns in the harbor, the water was calling out to him. When Bob graduated from high school, an uncle gave him a stack of records by Lead Belly, a black folk singer who sang out about the struggle for justice and the search for truth. Bob wanted to use the power of music like that too, even that. So even if his parents hoped he'd be an engineer, folk music was all I needed to exist. Or Dylan took his mom and dad to studied college in nearby Minneapolis. He wanted to take classes, but spent most of his time in Dinkytown. Young people most met in coffee houses, and folk music was all the rage. To Bob, folk music seemed poor and honest, with songs about life, hard times, and hope. After hearing a record by Odetta, a young folk singer with a voice like a wildcat, he traded in his electric guitar for an acoustic and a cafe owner asked his name during an audition. He suddenly entered Bob Dylan after his favorite poet. He was starting a new life with a new name. On stage at the Purple Onion, Bob tried to sing clearly, to tell the story in each song. He sounded so bad at first that people walked out. So, he practiced day and night. And the chanties, real songs, mental ballads, and fiddle tones. He'd fall asleep with the guitar in his lap, and he'd even forget to bath or brush his teeth. And then one day he heard the records of Woody Guthrie. Words can't. He painted with words. Bob Dylan. What's everything Bob wanted to be. A roaming and rambling singer and storyteller who'd played for striking minors and serving farmers. He was from Oklahoma, straight out of Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath, and he had written more than a dozen songs about dust storms and tornadoes, heroes, hobos, and gunslinging outlaws. He played country, blues, and folk music. His song "This Land Is Your Land" was a national favorite. When Bob read Woody's "Bound for Glory," it was like finding the North Star in the night sky. Woody's words were a compass, pointing the way to a bigger, brighter world. Bob. To write songs like Woody, to make people think and feel. He wanted to so much to be like Woody that he pretended to be an orphan from Oklahoma I ran away. A street singer who'd done his share of hard traveling. All I got is my guitar and that knapsack. That's all I need. Bob Dylan. After a year in Minneapolis, Bob could hold attention. He put his songs inside out, along with 100 others. Odetta even listened to him play, and he had a fit in music. Bob had big dreams, but he had no idea how to make them happen. Then he heard that he was alive and very ill in a hospital outside New York City. Bob got a number and called. I'm coming out there. He told the nurse I'm coming out to see him. Bob had hiked to New York in January 1961. The city lay frozen under a foot of snow. And Bob didn't know a soul. He was 19 years old. Carrying his guitar, Bob walked into a Greenwich Village club and asked to play some songs. When he got the okay, he jumped up on stage. Name's Bob Dylan, he said. Been traveling around the country, following in Woody Guthrie's footsteps, rough around the edges. Bob had a boyish charm. The audience really liked him. And someone even let him sleep on the couch that night. A few days later, Bob hopped a bus to Greystone Hospital. When he got there, what he so surprised him. It was thin and shaky. His traveling days long over. He could talk, all in a whisper, but he offered Bob a smile. So, Bob did what came naturally. He sang Woody's songs while Woody sat and listened. His eyes sparkling, promising to come back. Bob left that day, but a card from Woody to read. Ain't dead yet. Bob went back to visit his hero, and Woody looked forward to seeing the boy. A few weeks later, Woody's family invited Bob to visit him at the friend's house. On a trip out of the hospital, the room was filled with world famous musicians and folk singers. Bob sat at Woody's feet, strumming the guitar. He quietly began singing a song he'd written, and the hush fell over the room. Sung to Woody was Bob's first real folk song, a gift to his hero and friend. Hey! Woody Guthrie, I wrote you a song. When Bob finished, Woody's face lit up like the sun. That night, Bob walked back to the cold streets, filled with a warm glow. After following in Woody's footsteps, he was ready to place a trail of his own, to set down his thoughts and feelings in songs about real life, hard times, and hope. Songs that moved people to speak out and stand up. Songs about the struggle for peace and justice. Songs in a new voice for a new time. I was just doing what I could with what I had, where I was, Bob Dylan.